Cool. And that number for Wentworth,
Yes, thank you.
I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Oh, he called me to tell me he was running late, and I was like, I'm just pulling up now too, so.
We need to at least.
Okay, we are live.
Where he lives about the country, so you can get that.
Yeah.
Showtime.
Okay, start with pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Approval of prior minutes. Anybody had a chance to look those over?
I have one comment on, under old business, it was indicated, or Pat supposedly moved to pay $13,000 to Dave's demolition service. He actually moved to pay $14,000, we were going to withhold $1,000. Our contract
Yeah,
with.
no, right, we were holding 1,000 until it was confirmed that she ceded all three lots, right?
That's exactly right, which they did. And our agreement with Dave's was 5,000, 5,000, 4,000, respectively for the three properties.
So do we need a motion to amend the minutes? You can do that. Are there any other corrections?
I run.
No, sir.
So you need a motion?
Yes.
Got a motion to approve the minute with the, change that 13,000, 14,000. And we're budgeting the bills.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
And that motion with regard to September 18th meeting, you also have meeting on October 2nd for special.
Sure.
You need to approve the minutes for the special meeting.
Here we have it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so for the special meeting with regard to the property on Old Road,
Motion to approve.
have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Lisa Evans abstained, I wasn't at the meeting,
For the second.
the October 2nd meeting, I'll abstain because I wasn't there.
Okay. So we kind of took care of the old business unless somebody has something else in regard to paying Sakers. Is there anything else?
I don't think we took care of, you mean we took care of the approval of minutes?
Yes,
Yes.
but with regard to old business, that, discussing paying Sakers. Is there any other old business?
Well, we've got the board vacancy and those three tabled
Oh, yeah.
addresses.
So, vacancies, you were saying that there's.
Regarding the board vacancy, there's one letter that I'm aware of that's been submitted to the city, and apparently the city commission will consider it tomorrow evening.
Correct.
Now the city commission decides that.
Yes, according to the ordinance, yes.
Tabled items, we tabled three pieces of property. 601 South Crawford, we may recall we had two offers on that from adjoining landowners. I think the board felt that that property might have some value and that maybe we want to, seek other opportunities on it. I'm not sure it's an item that we want to.
Is that 611 Crawford?
I'm sorry, yes it is, thank you, Brad. 611. And anyways, I'm not sure it's an item that the board was ready to consider. Because nothing really transpired since the September 18th meeting anyway. So, and if it's, I did put up a sign, but I noticed it's gone already, so.
But did decided not to accept those offers.
We didn't reject those offers.
Okay. So,
This goes back to the September meeting, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think we just tabled them. We didn't reject, but we didn't accept either. We just,
So I hope that's not a recurring agenda item or.
I tell you what I think, the consensus that I got when we were visiting about it is that we felt like if we could clean up the title, that was a pretty nice lot for Bill Malone, and for that reason, we didn't want to accept those offers. And so, because I would look for a motion for us to go ahead and actually decline those offers, and if that's the decision that we're gonna make forward,
yeah,
to
because
see if we can clean up the title first.
one is for a yard extension and a garden, and the other one would be for a yard extension or parking as well.
And so we were talking about looking into seeing what we could do about cleaning up the title so that it could be sold as a buildable lot. And so if that's what we're deciding as a board, then probably we should make a motion to,
Is that one we believe it's possible to get clear title on?
Well, I can't say that with any certainty. This was owned by, I'm sorry. It was owned by, actually by a trust. The last time, we're not able to get service on the trustee. And, last time our chief was a lady out in California. Her son owns 3 pieces of property in town here. A local realtor is going to try to see if she can get it cleared up, but she hasn't been able to. Try to make contact with the lady, and as far as I know, she has not been able to, so we haven't got anywhere now that I'm aware of.
On this one, it says here, also during the demolition of condemned structure, our property's fenced and is damaged from demolition.
That's been repaired.
We took care of it, yeah.
We took care of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have 5,000 in the demo job, we already here, yeah, ask her, I don't think there's any hurry to make this into the yard.
I would agree.
I agree. I'll make a motion.
Sorry, you might be saying something else too.
I'm gonna make a motion to, reject both offers. We probably need to do one at a time, so I'll make a motion to reject, offer for $750 for 611 South Crawford.
Second.
All those in favor?
I'll make a motion to reject, second offer for 611 South Crawford for the amount of $1,500.
Second.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Okay, 411 South Osborne, the reason why we tabled it is that, I think Pat Wood wanted to go drive by the property and inspect it, look and see what it looks like. Again, it's a vacant lot, it's the owner to the north, he has maintained it in the past, the city as well has, but he's got a nice home, taxes paid and everything else. Across the street, there's a vacant, abandoned house, I'd say, and it's, that to the south, there's not the greatest neighborhood in the world. So the issue is just, again, I think somebody was interested in inspecting it, so I don't know what to do. So my recollection was people weren't interested in taking a gander at it.
Again, title issues agreed.
Yeah, we will not be able to.
We can't get clear title
No,
on
cannot
this.
get clear title.
Under classification, it says non-buildable lot. Is that something we put on there, or is that something they put on there?
They put on its own application, but on the other hand, I can agree with them if they,
On this
you
lot?
can't get title, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get financing.
If it's gonna be a yard extension, and Pat wanted to look at it, isn't here today, I don't know that we have to rush to accept this offer, so, but we continue to table it, and I'll send Pat a text and ask him maybe to glance at that before our next meeting. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, the only thing, if it's not buildable, and they're offering us $1,000 for the lot,
By
that's,
filter.
that's just
We're, he said we're on 411 South Osmond.
Oh, we're on
Scheduled for
1024.
10:24.
Oh, never mind, I was looking at 1024 South Judson.
Oh, we tabled it. I'm sorry, I forgot to brush it.
Okay, let me relook at this. So you would agree it's not a buildable lot, because it can't get clear title?
That's correct.
This is, well, then this changes, go ahead.
That definitely affordable of Osmond.
And a 50-foot wide, not a promising building site.
Applications adjacent landowners.
It's the same size building lot as the other two that we just rejected, that we said is a size that's buildable.
Well, no, the basis for it, the 55 to 20 is technically a standard size city lot, I believe, but the non-buildable portion is just relative to the title issues.
Is there any way that when you do these classifications, you can tell us why it's considered not buildable?
Sure.
So it's no clear title or whatever.
Absolutely, well, I usually put that in, and well, I didn't get, if I put in there that I didn't get service, with that county did not get service, that's basically the reason. But yes, I can elaborate.
So, I mean, I'm fine with waiting on this, if you wanna wait on.
The Osmond one wasn't the one that Pat wanted to see, so right, I wanted to see the one with Justin.
No, he wouldn't see it. That's my recollection. I jumped ahead, I'm sorry about that.
Anybody opposed to tabling it until Pat gets back to us?
I'm okay with it, it's whatever.
Just the next meeting, we'll make sure we make a decision.
A motion that we table 411 South Osmond.
Second. All those in favor? Aye.
We're gonna go back to 1024.
Yes, I apologize.
Yes, sir.
Let's get on that. All right, 1024 South Judson. This is a corner lot, oh, you know what? No, that was one I'm sorry, that's one we were tabling also, pardon me. This is, we tabled this because, there's a potential buyer across the street who may be interested in this property, and I was instructed to look into whether it's possible to get clear title of this 1024 South Judson. And in my understanding, talking to Security First, that we may be able to, not necessarily we be able to get in a position to get clear title, but a potential buyer could. Because I don't have, obviously, the authority to retain the services of an attorney and that kind of thing. So a potential buyer could be in a position to do so in light of my discussion with Security First.
So, is that potential buyer gonna visit with Security First one-on-one and get back to you? What is their plan?
Probably talk to the realtor who's looking into this.
So, who's the, I guess so the applicant is not the person dealing with the realtor?
No.
I remember a little bit about this.
The applicant has a piece of property to the south, right across the street.
Yeah.
But in the interim, there's been some interest shown by somebody who's bought a lot to the east and who might be interested in building on this lot also.
Okay.
So this has greater value in light of the fact that somebody might be interested in building on it. They're gonna have to clear up title to it.
So, but the person who's the application's with, they own a property across the street, correct?
To the south.
And
South.
adjacent.
And an adjacent property.
And an adjacent.
But
They wanna build.
But they were just using it for the moment as a side lot. Then somebody has shown an interest in.
Another party.
Yeah, another party.
We're talking two separate parties.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And but they have not submitted an application or anything like that, so I was directed to go talk to Security First to see if there's a means of cleaning title up. And there is a means of cleaning title up potentially, but that would be on the buyer, in my opinion, anyway, that'd be on the buyer. And so at that point in time, I'm sure another application would be submitted for a bill. So I think we need this again until we get this other application, if we can indeed get this other application.
I've agreed. Have a motion to table 1024 South Judson until the next meeting. Have a second?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Sorry about the confusion. This one's one of mine.
Alright, 13, 16.
Now we have, yes, we have an application, and these folks, they're not, they do own a piece of property, 102 North Judson, taxes are paid, property is well maintained. Although, but they do live out of town, and anyway, they just want to look at it to, as you can see, build on it, and maybe even submitted a house plan, if you'll notice, the attached, so, yeah. That,
What process, did they elaborate on that? Are they, I mean, they're going through a closing agency and working at it, or are they still trying to actively get a bought from someone else who owns it?
what they're, all I can tell you is that they're in the process of purchasing 2 lots east of this property. That's all I can tell you. I looked on the record the other day, and they had not completed that purchase yet. It's still in the names of the former owners, or the present owners technically.
Is this gonna get, there's no personal service?
There's no personal services, no buildable lot. This,
So they understand that? Okay.
It says the applicant's a realtor, I should hope that they understand.
Well,
I
well,
had,
it's a, we've said that $500 is the lowest we would accept for lots that have no personal service, and they're coming in at $525. And they say they're gonna build a house on it within a year, and that's not only if they get the other 2 lots, they're gonna do this, they're gonna build on this lot no matter what, right?
well,
I mean, if
I
they don't, they have to.
I can't honestly say that they would be building this particular lot because finances. You know, I don't know if a lender will lend, I mean, they may
They
gain
surely
time.
would build on one of the other lots, and this
Right.
would make it a bigger yard,
Correct.
and they wouldn't tie the 2 properties together, and this one would remain with no clear title.
We could approve it, pending the purchase of the lots
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
That's reasonable.
with a callback.
Well, I mean,
If they don't get the other 2, they don't need it.
well, that's why I was asking. I mean, I don't mind selling to them for $525, but I don't want them to come back in 3 months and say, hey, we didn't get the other 2 lots, we want our $525 back. I mean, and the way I read it, applicant's comments in the process of purchasing 2 lots east of the property, 1318 East Lincoln, and 24 North Lincoln, construction to commence January 2024 to be completed by January 2025. So I read like they're building. But
I
what you're
would
saying,
assume
they
that
probably
they're going
won't
to build
build.
on one of the other lots, not this one, it would be silly to build on this
I
one.
agree.
Maybe they need to clarify their application, and maybe by that time they will own the other 2 lots, and
Yeah.
but then their proposed use would really be a yard extension,
Yeah, it
not,
wouldn't be a construction of a new home. That's why I'm saying that it says construction of a new home on their application. So if that's the case, I would say approve it for $525 because they're gonna build a new home and they're giving us what we asked for the lot. However, if they're not gonna construct on this lot, then it changes the whole application. So, I mean, they need to clarify if they're gonna build on this lot or not, in my opinion.
however, thank you for your interest in building, that's
Yes,
wonderful.
please.
Yeah, very good.
Build 2 houses.
Okay, all right. And final one.
So,
Right.
wait,
Oh,
we need to pass a motion on
Yeah.
that.
Are we tabling it then? I make a motion to table 1316 East Oak until the next meeting for clarification on the application.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Final item on the agenda, it concerns a piece of property that we have sold. An individual is going to build on it, However, once they got on the property, and I don't know what we got quite candidly, and Robert may speak to this, or we have a guest that may speak to it, but anyway, they got onto the property, and as I understand it, there was a structure on there years ago that had been torn down by a local demolition company, and apparently that demolition company just buried everything, so now they're gonna have trouble with foundation and on and on. Maybe the contractor has backed out, I don't know all the details.
So,
The issue is whether we, I don't know what the issue is.
One thing before we talk about, let's refrain on saying any names
That's right.
for sure, okay?
regarding the demolition company,
Yes.
the other parties actually here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so, I received a phone call from, one of the purchasers that we sold, Margrave, what's the address?
1405?
1405, yeah.
And by the way, no consideration exchanged hands. This is, they promised to build, and so
Yes,
we gave it.
so the buyer knew, I don't think in the sale we expressed any, we were selling an asset lot. However, I think it was well known that the city paid to have, structure removed. I don't know about the whole house, but there's definitely evidence that some of the structure was buried. The contractor who was gonna build for this gentleman, pulled up siding and roofing debris. Said that when they put some stakes in the ground just to test compaction, that it hit it with a hammer and drive that thing 10 or 12 inches of one stride. So, since I was told by the person that purchased a property that received a property that was gonna build, that their contractor backed out and said there's too much of a liability to build there until either one, a contractor came in, or somebody was hired to excavate that, put some good XYZ or something in there for compaction where it was safe to put a pad there. And so he has asked that, he has an investment, they've already paid to have some trees removed. They have some expenses in where they're at now, so he asked if I would reach out to the city regarding that demolition company, whether they could help see if they'd make it right. So I made that phone call, and the other thing he's asking from us is that we would withdraw, from the promise that, his promise that he would build and allow him to maintain the property. So if he could continue to build there, he would build, but if he could not, that he would sell the property on his own to recoup some of his losses. And so I'm just relaying that on to you all so we can make a decision.
Is this the gentleman?
You wanna speak, and you're very welcome to come speak on this topic.
I can just answer any questions that you guys have.
Well, can you, if you speak, can you speak into the mic right there?
Have I missed anything here?
No, you're on board.
I will, I talked to legal today, and since it's been so many years, plus we exchanged money, we paid that demolition crew, there's nothing we can do. It's basically, slap our hands and go on. So there's nothing we can go back to the demo company on. I think it's been 8 years. So it's 2015. So,
Was there any willingness to see, it's unrelated to land bank in the way that we weren't in contact with them, but, good faith, like that company, surely you're gonna wanna continue to do business for the city of Fort Scott.
I couldn't get hold of the person today. I'll keep trying. I even went to a spot where I thought he was working, he wasn't working there today.
Well, and he's under absolutely zero obligation after 8 years.
Exactly.
It's all in how the contract was written. If it wasn't written properly, then he followed what he said he was gonna do.
Sure, absolutely, and I guess
So,
either way, for the land bank, it doesn't necessarily include us, we weren't part of that, but,
I think what Robert's saying is go talk to the demo to see if he would go back and of good faith going and digging this thing up.
And put a fill in?
Yeah. More than likely not, but
I mean, it never hurts to
Yeah,
ask, but
you never know.
it would surprise me.
So,
It's more than likely no.
So your ask to us is that we waive the construction, agreement that you signed, saying you build a house on it and allow, just leave it a yard, or that you would maintain it.
And allow him to sell it to recoup some of his money that he's put in it.
If he did build.
If he didn't build.
At this point in time, I'm already over $2,000 in cleanup on the property from cutting down little trees and things like that. I only got one estimate for the fill. It came in at $7,000, which would be $9,000 in arrears before I even start the build. If I'm going to have, I'm just be real upfront with you, if I'm gonna have to pay for the fill, then my intentions are just make the next buyer aware of the issue and sell the property to recoup my losses. If this was made right and, you know, the property was made buildable, I would, you know, still look at building there if this was done in a timely manner. The problem that I'm running into is, you know, with my contractor backing out on me, and now I'm gonna go to the back of the list to get back onto, you know, their building schedule. And in the meantime, I've sold my house because of everything that was supposed to go through. I was supposed to be in my house by the end of next month. So now I'm looking at potentially being without a home for who knows how long.
And this property was sold to you as a buildable lot, right?
Correct.
We
Technically, I mean,
don't
it's still
as a,
valid.
We don't
yeah,
sell
we
them.
don't as a land bank guarantee that
It's in the
anything is
agreement that we
buildable.
sold it at.
I think that this is really unfortunate.
Can we talk about this in executive? We don't have an attorney here, but it is legal. So can we go into that without okay.
And I, before you do, I put out the option of, you know, I work for the city now.
Yeah.
I put out the option of just destroying the contract, because that would make the city or the land bank be out $0, and I can recoup my money, and then we're all, you know, back to square.
I'm gonna make a motion, that the Fort Scott Land Bank recess into executive session, for the purpose of, talking about this, legal contract pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2, attorney-client privileges exception. The open meeting will resume in, I think 10 minutes is fine, don't you guys?
Who do you want in there?
The Land Bank Commission and, Brad, you
And Pat,
and Pat.
probably.
You wanna do it in my office? Or do you wanna stay in there? Probably better go in there. Let's
Okay.
go in there.
So we'll resume, the open meeting will resume at 4:41.
Wait,
We
I
have to
second
vote.
it and vote.
I need a second and a vote.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
For keeping us in check.
I'm wondering if they would do along the way. Was waived.
I was just made aware that we did have audio when we came back from executive session, so I'm just gonna reiterate that
Okay.
our motion was to release the owner of 1405 South Margrave from the development agreement in which it was stated that he would build a home within a specified timeline. And we will also release him from the right of first refusal. We appreciate his interest in building a home on that property and hope that he's able to rectify the situation and still do so. But at the point of releasing him from this development agreement, Land Bank would be removed from the situation, and we wish him well with the city and city commission.
I'll second that.
Well, we don't have to second again, we already agreed on it, it was just reiterating since we had no.
One thing for the good of the group, if I may, Mr. Chairman. So I will bring this up, Bourbon County Ready, is going to be developing and paying for and creating a housing website for development of residential. We're gonna be able to list housing, lots for developers to build on. And we would love to have the land bank lots, listed on that site. It'll be a connection to our website. So you'll be able to go to the Bourbon County Ready site, click on housing, there's gonna be a link there for a housing website. It's gonna list the incentives that are available within our county for building. It's gonna list sites and locations for developers, possible if there's already material or already site plans put together for certain sites, those will be available as well for developers to see. And we're gonna use this to market outside the community and hopefully in the region to try to attract new developers to bring new housing to the community. So with that being said, you can go ahead and say something.
Well, I have a comment that I spoke with Brad earlier today.
Put that Touch that.
Just touch the button.
There you go. I now work for the city in the codes department. I spoke with Brad about something today because of the situation that I was in. When we send out our paperwork for demo on a property, I suggested to him that we come up with some kind of legal verbiage to basically, since we really don't usually recover monies from the demo, if we put in there legal terms to waive demo fees in order for clear title, so you can get more properties that actually can be built upon, I think that would be beneficial since we tear down so many and not get anything from it, that if we put that legal verbiage in there to, if they supply us with a clear title to the property, that we would waive fees and such, that way you can get more buildable lots.
Well, Mayor Wells is gonna be presenting you with Mayor Wells
Look at me.
is gonna be presenting you with a housing development incentives package that I wrote up. It's a rough draft and we'll take, all suggestions that we can use to put it back into another document, to finalize, and that would be good. Thank you very much. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up because it's one of our ways we're gonna be able to market these land bank sites probably a little bit more aggressively.
And I've also brought up with Brad the need for our bid packets that we put out for demolition to be a little more clear and concise on what the expectations are. So hopefully we won't run into any more problems like this.
Doesn't the codes department check and sign off after a property's demoed?
Now, like they did, Norm could probably iterate it
Oh,
out.
they were supposed to back then, it didn't happen.
Well, we did that Norm.
That's always been on the books, codes.
That wasn't the norm.
That's the final thing before the guy gets paid is, but it just, I don't know who was even here at that time.
I think anybody that's here now was there then.
In conversation with Brad during this, there were a couple of things, there were some codes officers that, passed away and changed, so there were several there then, which, I know that Brad did indicate that that's one thing the city's been really on top of in recent times that he's been aware of, and so I think the city's got it figured out, but unfortunately this came up, so. Best scenario for us, I think that was it, have a motion to adjourn? Or you got something?
Two minor items.
Okay.
One attached to your minutes and the summaries was just an itemization of all the properties we now own. We sold about 24, so I think we're doing a fairly good job of addressing the land banks and needs.
Hey, Pat, how many sites are gonna be on the the next tax sale that you think we're gonna end up with?
Well, you can never predict that because hopefully, third party will be buying, I think, but I think city properties, I think I have 15 to 20, I think I can do that, I did count. We were trying to get it done this next month, and I'm still trying to get the next sale next month, however, I'm having some difficulty, the court system kind of shut down right now, they were hacked, Kansas Springs court was hacked and so forth, so there's some difficulty talking to things, but hopefully they'll rectify here soon. The other thing I have also, by the way, is we talked about kind of scorecards for properties. I came up with a rough draft of one for everybody to take a gander at. All it over and critique it, please. As long
Thank you for this list, just to, these are current land bank owned property, this is our inventory.
as this our inventory.
What's the numbers in the land and buildable?
Okay, that, at one point in time, that was what the property value when we first got it down.
Okay,
Oh, I did, I wrote.
They're obviously not accurate, and I thought about taking that, because some of the commentary about, those values don't mean a lot, so.
and then personal service, and then the deed. That's the date that the
Yeah,
deed
that's,
transferred.
that's, no, well, yes, that's the that's the date of the sheriff's sale, I think it was, yeah,
Okay.
that's the sheriff's sale, and then that other number there is just the case number that was filed in Irving County District Court.
We did another time, but like 116 North Crawford.
That's the one we just did a destruction on, demolition on.
Now, his wife is still living in the area yet.
I have communicated with her, but I've lost touch with, she said she'd signed a deed, but I can't get over it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, that particular property,
Yeah, exactly.
Does anybody have any contact with the Summit Corp that has quite a bit of them?
That's a defunct corporation, I know nothing about it.
No, they've got tons,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're buys.
tons.
was Summit Court part of Orange Grove Apartments? That was their situation?
They have their own corporation.
Like you've sold something out of something, you've sold multiple properties
Yeah, they've
from
come up
that
with-
Summit Corp, like every sale in
Mm.
the last.
Yes, sir, that's right.
Did you ever, look into getting the access to the program that was recommended a few meetings ago? For you to make it easier on doing title searches and getting titles?
The white pages are,
Yeah, no, I got White Page, I think of that. I have a White Page already, and there's a couple other sources too, there's 3 or 4 others, 4 or 5 others, but tracking people down, so yes, I've looked at several of those, if that's what you're.
Yes, have you
I've had, but
so you haven't selected one that you would?
well, I like I say, I have White Page, I purchased that a long time ago, and I've been using that. It's recommended, Cemeteries R Us, that's not the name, I think it is. But something like that and all, but I've looked at 4 or 5, again, I purchased the White Pages one, personally. And I've looked into some of the others and tried to access them. Haven't had a lot of luck. I mean, these folks that own these properties, they've moved on. I've written letters to folks and other, because White Page says they live here now, so I've written letters to gentlemen of Pale and some folks from Missouri, and to no avail.
I just want to make sure you have access to what you need to be able to track.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying.
And I would like, before we adjourn, I would like to remind everyone that, all of anybody watching at home, that anybody who purchase a property from the land bank, they are sold as is. It is in the contract when you sign it, but it is as is.
Yes.
we cannot guarantee anybody's intended use.
Yeah, exactly. So just a reminder, we're gonna try and get that online, so that anyone interested in making purchases from the land bank understands exactly what they're getting into with it.
And does any due diligence prior to.
I gotta go.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor? Thanks. Probably the,
Thanks for putting this together, Pat.
yeah.
Just check it out.
Yeah.
Can't do that,